If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe, like, and share so we can find others like yourself.
So right now I'm going to be discussing the markets, we give my price analysis on a few coins that I think are doing really well, and also give my thoughts and opinions on where I think the market will be going by the end of this year and also by the end of the next bull run. So right now what you're seeing with Bitcoin, and certainly that Bitcoin dominance right now, is absolutely crazy, 64%. So that means 64% out of this total market cap, this nearly $400 billion market cap, is in Bitcoin. And right now you're seeing Bitcoin do really well, and that's good to see. You want Bitcoin to do well because by default, that will help the rest of the altcoins that you're seeing at the moment. So what usually happens is that Bitcoin's price increases, that gets a lot of attention, and then therefore the Bitcoin dominance does increase with that. And by default, what happens is that all the capital flows from the altcoins into Bitcoin itself. And so that's when you start seeing these sort of negative figures on Ethereum, on XRP, Bitcoin Cash, Chainlink. You know, you see Ethereum down 5%, XRP down 5% again, Chainlink down 14%, Binance coin as well down 15%. So, Polkadot again, 16%. So these are all big figures. And the reason being, in my opinion, is because we're seeing that capital flow from the altcoins into Bitcoin itself. And in a way, that's a good thing. You want Bitcoin to do well, because when Bitcoin rises higher and higher again, that then does go down eventually after a certain amount of time. And that capital flowing from, let's say, a $16,000 or $17,000 Bitcoin will flow into the altcoins, and you'll get actually a better return on investment in terms of X. So, you may get a 10X or 20X, whereas with Bitcoin, you may get a 2X or a 3X. But with the altcoins, you might get even more. And this is just historically what you've been seeing with the altcoin investments. Now, again, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but it's just my thoughts and opinions. And I think this is sort of cyclical. A lot of things are cyclical in the crypto market. So XRP itself, again, I do think it can go to $1. I think it can go to its all-time high again of $3.80, around that sort of area. Potentially even higher than that as well. I think in the next bull run, we could be seeing XRP go into the $10 region, certainly double figures in my opinion for XRP. By the end of this year, I think again, sort of the same sort of area that we're seeing right now, because again, we're already in November, and next month will be December, and that's the end of the year. So around that sort of area there. Chainlink, I do think will be again sort of the same sort of area, potentially going sort of the $15 region itself. And by the next bull run, I think it could go. And with Chainlink, again, like with XRP, again, sort of the same sort of area for end of 2020. So around sort of the $10 to $15 region. And in the next bull run, I do think Chainlink can go to $50 and potentially even $100 with Chainlink, because it's an interesting project, is Chainlink. And I've heard some people say that Chainlink could go to $1,000. I think that's quite something if it did happen. But again, sort of interesting times for that. Polkadot, again, I do think it has the ability to go to $10, potentially even further than that as well. Certainly its all-time high, and also certainly that it went onto its mainnet as well. So interesting times for Polkadot. Cardano, I do think it can go to $1, potentially $5, but that's just way down the line. We're talking, sort of years down the line. And then EOS, I didn't really talk about EOS that much. Tezos, again, a very interesting project. VeChain itself, I think it can go to $1. We've been talking about VeChain a lot recently. And again, with Zilliqa, I do think it can go to $1 as well. Because if we look at the technicals, the fundamentals, the team, the technology, these are all key things you got to look into in the project. And that's actually something that we mentioned, both Josh and I, on our Crypto Nights interview. We talked about the tick list that you got to go to when looking at a crypto project. So that's something that's really helped us, and we truly believe that this will also be able to help you as well. So that's the market in general. Over the next few weeks and also months, I think, again, like with the election, I think this is going to be what we're seeing right now today compared to tomorrow, or tomorrow compared to today, because I've recorded this the day before. We may be seeing the market in a completely different area, or it might be just the same sort of thing, and crypto is not phased by it at all. But certainly the markets will react by the result that we have today. Yeah, very interesting times for Bitcoin, for everything. So I think further to that, a lot of people have been asking, what is a Trump or a Biden administration going to affect my Bitcoin? How is it going to be good for my crypto? And I think the thing is, you can call me a fence sitter, you can call me whatever, but either administration will be pretty much okay with Bitcoin, because it's a new technology, people are being interested in it as well. And if we take the administration, whoever it may be, whether it's Trump or Biden, we put that to one side, you've got the Federal Reserve, the CIA, the FBI, they're constant. They're always going to be there, no matter what the 4-year or 8-year term it will be. they're always going to be there. So they have their own interests within their own selves. And so I think, if you take the Federal Reserve, they're certainly looking into the idea of cryptocurrency. If you take the European Central Bank over the other side of the pond, they're interested in cryptocurrency, they're interested in Bitcoin. So that would be something that you also take home today. I think this is, something that I think is quite key for the power of Bitcoin and for the future of Bitcoin itself, regardless of what flavor of government you may get. I think it's good for crypto, whatever it is, because there are institutions out there that are so bullish on it right now. And we see this right now, especially with how I'll also leave these articles linked in the description below. Don't worry. But again, we've been seeing this again further and further again. A lot of people out there who are skeptical about Bitcoin, about cryptocurrency years ago, 2017, if you were around that sort of time, even before that as well. They're calling it a scam. Everything was calling it a scam. And, they're eating their words at the moment because they're saying, oh, it's the best thing to go for right now. So why now? And I think the reason why now is because 2020 has been quite the year. We never expected 2020 to turn out the way it has. If you have a looming recession over our heads, especially wherever side of the world you're going to be, it could be a global recession that we could be going into. The idea of crypto, the idea of blockchain, the idea of Bitcoin does become quite attractive to people who want to maintain their investments, to want to maintain their wealth as well. You've got lots of people saying out there that it could surge to $3 million or millions of dollars as well per Bitcoin. I doubt that's going to be the case because that would be lots of money going into Bitcoin itself. But they're saying it's a hedge fund managers are saying that it could be the case, and they're also saying it is a hedge. It's a hedge against inflation. I think there is going to be impending inflation as well. It's another key thing that is on our heads. So I think that's the answer to the question of why institutions are interested in Bitcoin, interested in cryptocurrency right now. And I think this is the reason why, is because they're worried about inflation, the recession, lots of other stuff, and I think at the same time they want to maintain their wealth as well. Now, before that, things can go down as well as up. So again, it's good to see Bitcoin break those barriers. And again, I think it was a very key thing to see that Bitcoin closed above the $13,800 region, which is a really key thing, really good thing for Bitcoin itself. But as things go up, they also go down as well. So have that level mindset when you go to your investing, when you do your investing itself, and look into where things could go for Bitcoin, for crypto, because Bitcoin does affect the rest of the market at the moment. So keep your eyes peeled for where Bitcoin could go over the next few weeks. Certainly by the end of this week, I'll be reanalyzing. I'm staying away from investing for the next few days or so, and especially today itself because of the announcement of the election. And then after that, once all the dust has settled, all that sort of stuff, then we can get back into what's happening and set our targets for Q4, the rest of Q4, and also Q1 of next year, because next year is setting up to be a really interesting year for cryptocurrency, for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, for XRP, Zilliqa, Chainlink, all these top cryptocurrencies that we like to talk about a lot on our channel. It's going to be a big year for those cryptocurrencies. Now, I want to know from you guys. I want to know what you think about what I've been saying today, about whether Trump, Biden, how's that going to affect your crypto investments? Are you invested in Bitcoin? Are you not? What's your opinions and all the stuff I've been saying today? I'd love to know what you guys have to say about that. And I'll also be responding to some in comments below.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe, like, and share so we can find others like yourself.